Here we go. This is exciting, isn't it?
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
KGB Open Mic Monday! Yeah. Woo! Thank you! Welcome! New York City! Manhattan! East Village, baby! Let's do it, alright! Poetry! 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 Music! Comedy! 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 Changing our lives! You must change your life! You must change your life! Thank you! Thank you! Stop! It's too much! It's too much! It's too much!
Not enough. Thank you. Came in here and looted the place. And I want to thank them for returning the couch and hey. Anyway, so how many of you saw Bill Clinton on Arsenio Hall when he played the sax?
Okay, that's enough of that. Thank you.
Topical.
Yeah, I know. I wrote that material this morning. It was on my Twitter. Check it out. At Geets Romo. I'm Matt Proctor. I'm the host. We got so much talent. We got so much talent here. It's crazy. KGB Open Mic Mondays. We got performance artists. We got great poets, great comedians, everything. Get ready to have a good time. Thank you all for coming. Monday night, 10/17. This is our 5th open mic here at KGB Red Room, the hottest show in town, the hottest show in New York. Everybody's talking about it. Time Out New York, Bedford and Bowery, Larry King Live. To go with our Geraldo. Just a few ground rules before we get started. 2-drink minimum. Try to tip the bartender like way too much. I know you're super rich. This is New York. We're all ultra rich. We're all super talls. Drop that Black American Express card and treat us all to drinks. Thank you all. We're very excited. We've got our first feature. We're going to try a feature every week. We're going to try to have a feature. We've got a great feature tonight. Brendan Lorber came out. Let's have a big, great poet. Great poet. Sign up for Halloween. You can sign up online at Easy Paradise Mag in advance. Sign up for Halloween. We've got a special Halloween show planned where you can come as your favorite dead performer or live performer, whatever you want. Come up and perform in character if you want, or just wear a skull face, or whatever. And come in costume. We're gonna have a great night. Get some drinks. I'm just gonna start with this. Okay? I've got this book called 1 Year. I've never done this before and I wanna try it. And what it is, I wrote one line every day for a year. And so every day has a single, so I'm just gonna ask, you don't have to tell me your birthday, but just what's a day? Can you just give me a date?
July 3rd.
Okay, July 3rd. Let's have a round of applause. Thank you. Exactly.
Great day.
Fantastic day.
It's my brother's birthday, so.
It's here for your brother. This is for him. A private order keys the disjointedness.
It does.
That's July 3rd, everybody. Yeah. Okay, can I get a date?
September 10th.
September 10th, here we go. Also great choice. One day before patriotic. Cheek Eden's Trucks Yard Drillwise. That's September 10th. All right, well, and we'll just do one more. Can I get a date?
December 24th.
December 24th. Also a day before. Frank Stallone. That's it. 1 year. Get it at your local bookseller. We're going to get it started, everybody. Get ready for a good time. Let's have a big round of applause. I performed with this artist at Elizabeth Street Garden this summer. Very excited, yes. Let's have it, a big round of applause for Mort the Dead Author. Mort the Dead Author.
Thank you so much, Matt. All right, folks, before I bring out the dead author, I'm just going to tell you my name is Romero F. Smiley. I'm kind of the spokesperson for the dead author because he doesn't do much talking outside of reading stories. And Mort and I are a very, very long way from home. He originally hails from New Orleans, and we've been on a very long trip through middle of nowhere, North Carolina, Baltimore, DC, and back here in New York again. And we're so delighted to be here. New Yorkers are such kind people, and thank you for all your hospitality. I have some of Mort's books here, and I have a comic book kind of explaining what he does. Okay, here we go. Three, two, one.
Yeah.
Hello there. Hello. My name is Mort, the dead author. Life is short. So are my stories. I've come a very, very long way to read to all of you from a body of work called The Exquisite Corpse. Right. Got to be kind and remember the time. All right. This first one I like to start with is called White Face. I've made you a facade to paint from faded news of the day. A carnival mask of water, wheat flour, glue, called paper mache. As the other customers sit waiting upon the wood drying rack, I shape you silvery foil lips with pinched fingers, wet tack. You can never know I've copied a double from your cast. I'll keep it around to hold, closer than I'd ever dare to ask. It's your touch I really want, but this spare, it will make do. To kiss an empty echo of eggshell, just a larval ghost of you. Alright. Let me make sure you all can hear this. Can you hear that pretty well? So, you know, I've been through the underworld, and well, they just really don't want to let you go. So, one of the things you gotta do if you want to get in and out of there is learn how to charm the king and queen, Hades and Persephone. Best way to do that is with a song. So, my lyre is a cigar box ukulele. I'm gonna bring it this way. I can read it. All right. I will let you have it your way. What you wanna hear, that's what I'll say. A customer's always right, except when they're cheap. But for the right price, I could be your kind of creep. Now I bet you think I got no low, but I ain't got no other place to go. I bet you think I'm out of control, but I'm tired of being broke. I'm starting to get old. Well, I deal in snake oil, I don't care about the facts. I'm selling Tijuana Bibles and a Chick tracks. Tijuana Bibles and a Chick tracks. Tijuana Bibles and a Chick tracks. You wanna go fast or do you wanna take it slow? I can play along and say if you say so. But the one thing that I cannot do is have my own opinion or a point of view. Now I bet you turn up your nose at my acts, but I'm eating a lot better than gas station snacks. I deal in snake oil, I don't care about the facts. I'm selling Tijuana Bibles and a Chick track. Tijuana Bibles and a Chick track. Tijuana Bibles and a Chick track. Now I bet you think I'm living a lie that I have to face up to when I die. I bet you think I'm an awful guy, a double agent, saboteur, a spy. Ooh. Well, you know how that goes. The people I grew up with think I've gone bad. To see what's happened to me is awful sad. But you see, it was never me they knew. My disguise depends upon who I'm talking to. Somewhere I'm in here, somewhere it's me. But I'm busy figuring out who I'm supposed to be. Well, I deal in snake oil, I don't care about the facts. I'm selling Tijuana Bibles and a Chick track. 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 One of these days, Red Room, I'm going to get my friend Zoe up here from Southern Pines, North Carolina. I'm going to let her burn up the piano, and I'll be free to move around like Cab Calloway. Because honestly, I'm more of a composer than a musician. Okay, all right. How about really, people call me a poet, but I'm just a clown. How about some more of what people call poetry? How long have we got? Okay, we got a little. All right, what kind of? I've got The Exquisite Corpse. There's lots of stories in here. I also have this book called Horoscope. Unfortunately, I only have 2 copies with me on this whole trip, but I do have lots of copies of my book, Bite Out. I have about 14 copies on me. It's like a show in a book. Here we go. It is Libra season, so I'm going to read you Libra from Horoscope. Are there any Libras in the house? Okay. The Egyptians believed a jackal-headed god weighed your heart against a feather on a scale. measuring the worth of your life. The Greeks believed in a goddess, Justice, who was blind and carried a pair of scales in one hand, as well as a sword to punish those judged guilty. In your experience, a bathroom scale can be as equally unforgiving, especially if it's off this way, a few pounds here or there. One day, 2 different letters from 2 different firms representing 2 different lawyers arrive addressed to you. Each firm advises you seek their counsel, but without so much as a single mention of why specifically you should. Both lawyers urge you not to talk about your case to anyone, not even family. Even they, prepared to be your sworn defenders, shrink from and prefer to avoid the subject when you ask them, "And what exactly am I accused of?" By all available evidence, it would seem you've done something unspeakably, indeed, even unprintably wrong. I regret to inform you, Libra, that I can't tell you what it was either, or whether or not you're guilty of the crime.
Mark, we've got a lot of people to get to, I'm sorry, but I should have mentioned it's a 5-minute time limit, everybody. Sorry about that.
Apologies.
No, that's okay, thank you so much. Let's have a big round of applause for Mort. One more time, everybody. Mort, the Dead author. Buy his book. Do you have books?
Apologies. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
That's okay, no problem, it's no problem.
All right.
I should have been clear about that.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Thank
Do you
you
have
for your-
books for sale, or?
I do. I have books, if but I don't want to disturb her.
That's okay, thank you. Let's buy his book after the show.
Thank you, and I'll see you on the other side.
Mort, the Dead author. And if we can get Valium Housewife up here while we're changing over the scenes. No, it's no problem. It's no problem. Once again, thank you everyone for coming out. I'm Matt Proctor. We've got a 2-drink minimum. Hopefully everyone's enjoying that.
Nope. It's pretty loud. Can I just share that?
Yeah.
Nope.
I'll pick that up after.
Okay.
I usually have people do this before. Yeah. Where's the gentleman?
Hey, all right. Nicely.
Hello. You hear it? Yes.
Valium Housewife, everybody.
Sorry, last minute. The rain is making it a little funky.
Sounds great.
Okay. Now it sounds great. Thanks, folks. I'm Valium Housewife. This is my first time performing in New York. I moved here quite recently, about a year and a half ago, and haven't been out and about for Okay. What do we start with?
Well, there's a feature. There's a feature. Go ahead. Yeah. Have you?
When the moon would swell up like a bee sting, and reality seemed to dangle from a thread, those nights I would creep out of my
is empty, all the angels surround me. I am deep in a clouded dream. How can you go? How can you go? There are days when I have nothing to give, days when I'm circling the drain, days when my own pulse pisses me off, when I can't take the dope up of my veins. The worst comes from within me. God, what's broken in my brain? Playing chicken with God, playing dead with the possums, playing limbo with my self-esteem. How can you go? Oh, how can you go? Heaven is empty, all the angels surround me. I am deep in a clouded dream. How can you go? How low can you go?
Okay, guys, songs are short. Okay, do you want to hear a song called Dirty Girl? Or do you want to hear a song called Molly Ringwald? Alright.
Dirty Molly Ringwald.
I was a lonely girl at 14, glazed over eyes glued to the TV screen. Your LCD halo DVR soul. Saw your face, a pixelated Milky Way. Your LCD halo DVR soul. The freckles surround your lips, I trace them with my fingertips. Your LCD halo DVR soul. By the TV in the alley, I kiss the screen and taste the static. Your LCD halo DVR soul. Your LCD halo DVR soul. Your LCD halo DVR soul.
Hey everybody, I'm Valium Housewife. You can find me probably online as Valium Housewife somewhere. Again, I haven't played music in a while. Thank you for being a great audience. Let's hear it for everybody, and especially
Valium Housewife, Molly Pencil. All right, I think we'll do one more and then we'll do the feature. So if we could have Chase McCauley come up, give us a little ring-in. Chase McCauley.
I'm gonna read a short story I wrote. That's what the cool kids call autofiction. I moved to Manhattan at the end of 2020. I had lived in Brooklyn 2 years prior, and it felt nice to be able to say I actually lived in the city. After being unemployed for 2 months, I finally took a job as a dishwasher at Dominic and Sells Bakery in Soho. I didn't sleep very much. The nights I couldn't sleep, I would walk to the magazine shop on Kenmare and buy a coffee and a pack of cigarettes. Most of the time, the people behind the counter were indifferent, but when I started hitting times like 4 a.m. and then coming back at 3 p.m., they started greeting me with concerned expressions. The shop was a 10-minute walk from my apartment, which usually meant I would get through about 2 songs and finish 1 cigarette by the time I arrived. Unless I was smoking American Spirit, which burned unnecessarily slow. Depending on the time, I'd stop in the smoke shop for cigarettes. They were cheaper there. If my friend DJ was working, I'd get a bag of Coke from him and do a line in the bathroom. My keys started to become caked with white residue. It was a little boost for the walk, and a little boost for the thoughts. On these walks, I would think about different things, mainly about how different my life had turned out than I thought it would. It was less bleak than I expected, much more entertaining. I'd think about all the things I had done since I moved to New York, all the places, all the drinks, all the women. My time spent in Oklahoma seemed like a lifetime ago, a different me. Still the same feeling of isolation would creep up on me sometimes. The feeling I used to get while driving past a vacant field with a barbed wire fence. The bleakness. How my stomach would drop out each time a storm rolled in. The fear that any moment it could turn hostile. Tornadoes are common in Oklahoma. The people were much more similar than I expected, although I didn't put my finger on it until after my first year in the city. Gradually, I started to see the same things take different forms. The juxtaposition of what people say and what they do, the asymmetry in their words and actions. In Oklahoma, people would claim moral superiority in the form of religion. In New York, ideology took its place. Social justice and virtue signaling. Their idea of purity just had a different manifestation, but it was the same intention, an attempt to maintain order in a chaotic world. I sympathized. The main difference between New York and Oklahoma that I found was the promise of opportunity. New York had more variables, more possibilities. Oklahoma had a predictability, a feeling of stagnation. Any rural place has that, although at the time I thought it was unique to that particular state. In the city, things are constantly changing, even if it's not for the better. Something is always more interesting than nothing. I often meditated on this at night while I smoked cigarettes and drank coffee and walked along the street, the taste of cocaine in the back of my throat, my lips numb and tongue swollen. It was my time for meditation, a good space for reflection. It always felt nice to have the street to myself, no one around except the rats and the banner that said "Welcome to Little Italy." It was almost surreal to think I'd spent high school in a semi-condemned 2-bedroom apartment with my 2 brothers, my mom and stepdad spending too much money on the wrong things. The house so small and the bed bugs so bad that they were crawling up the walls. It didn't seem like it happened to the same person. I was always changing. It felt nice to be in a place that was able to change with me. As often as I bought new clothes, the street changed. Different lights, different banners, different buildings, different pavement, different people. Anytime I had a bad day at work, I thought about how this too shall pass. Anytime I felt a sense of transcendence, I thought about how this too shall pass. When I walked along Mulberry and looked up at the banners and the lights, I thought about how this too shall pass. Thank you.
Carly writing auto-fiction about doing cocaine, smoking cigarettes. That's what it's all about. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Great work. Chase McCauley, everybody. All right, you too, come make your dream come true. KGB Open Mic. Sign up for next week. So now we're going to do our first feature. We are super honored. We could not have a better first feature than this next poet. New York legend. Editor of Lungful Magazine, an excellent poetry magazine which everyone should get their hands on. It's available at bookstores, used bookstores around New York City. Editor of the Poetry Project newsletter. The first time I ever saw Brendan Lorber was at the New Year's Marathon in like 2011 when I first moved to New York. And I saw him across the sanctuary and he was wearing a tuxedo and a Robin Hood hat.
Yeah!
With a feather.
That's
literally.
Totally normal.
And I thought, this is New York. This is why I'm here. Magic. We have got an elder mage here, everybody. He draws these incredible maps, treasure maps. Get on, follow him on Instagram. And then also, I want to specially draw attention to AccuLorber weather forecast. Get on YouTube. Find his YouTube videos. This guy needs a show on Comedy Central. He should be on The Daily Show. It's the best political, social commentary. It's incredibly brilliant. It's funny. It's poetic. Genius stuff. Get on YouTube. Find the AccuLorber weather forecasts. If there were any Justin in this country, he'd be on like NBC. But anyway, let's have a big round of applause for our first feature, the great poet Brendan Lorber, everybody.
What an honor. Wow, that's fantastic. About 20 minutes ago, somebody handed me a little baggie filled with croutons. And as we all know in this room, that when somebody hands you a baggie of croutons, you never know if they're going to be like really delicious or they're going to be just sort of so-so. But these were like the best fucking croutons I've ever had in my life. And it might just be because I haven't eaten since like 10 o'clock this morning. I've been running around all day. But no, these were amazing. And it's the same thing with kind of open mics. You know, it's you walk into the room and you don't know what's going to happen. And it may be that it's just sort of like, you know, because of the last 2 years of, you know, everything that's happened in the world, it's nice to just see people. So maybe it's not great. It's just we're seeing people for the first time. But I think it's actually really an amazing night and an amazing series that Matt Proctor has put together. I'm super excited to be here on Matt's series and here at the KGB secret red room up from the room that everybody knows about. This is the real place. It was like, I think it was like 30 years ago that my phone rang. I used to live about a block from here on East 4th Street. My phone rang at like 11 o'clock at night and it was this guy, Keith Roach, who ran the open mic on Friday nights at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe that ran from like midnight to about 4 a.m. on Friday nights. And it was like 11 o'clock at night, which at the time seemed like a totally normal time for somebody to be calling, and he offered to have me read as the featured reader at like midnight on a Friday night. And I was super excited, and I was just as excited when Matt reached out and asked me to read here tonight. And that's true. I'm not just saying that because I've had 2 whiskeys and only croutons to eat. So I'm going to read a few new poems, and I'm going to drop that paperclip. So I may end up inadvertently reading the same page of poems several times. And it's from a new manuscript called Works in Person, which remains to be seen. It's a series of sonnets, and I'm going to skip the titles. I'm just going to go from one sonnet to the next, just to kind of keep everything focused. I'm not going to start the sourdough yoga in a sworn-at mellow vein of whatever self-care goes by on today's week off. I wore a suit in the dream, but it wasn't mine. None of these dreams are going to let nostalgia be the country house we summer in, not after last time we settled into the bathtub just as the real owners got home. To my face, I'm like a losing scratch-off at rest outside the bodega. You know what I mean. I mean, if you didn't, then how did we both end up hiding in the same senator's $1 million fridge? We've all loved someone who later went all Rolf in The Sound of Music, or preheated the lockdown affirmation baker within ourselves until whatever's good in us is still no good at making cute masks from canceled airplane tickets, but is okay adjacent with still having enough breath to mutter under. I'm always surprised to hear a friend lost their job, because I never imagined my friends doing anything but shadowy ministrations of a faint radio signal on the overnight shift, except of course they do have jobs, or did, just as days had names once before their spongy blend of one to the next became a kind of spider in the bedroom you saw, and then lost under the furniture that was invisible until backlit by the danger. But we have to get to sleep, because work in the morning. I try, but can't get used to how we get used to anything, like work or spiders, or pretending the name of each day doesn't pour out through the break of dawn as a concession to this day's desire to be our last in the perpetual replacement of the sun by noon with everything it melts. Replacement also of the deliciously filthy habits that permit us to go on with the threat those habits provide. I'm gonna precariously. I'm going to put the pages as I read them there so we have a sense of forward momentum.
Can I start up?
What's your name?
The anthem of a wide open frontier after one fiery age, but before the next, is where we can say ideas only in the space between things, and between the ideas, an anxious pause we can use to dig a hole up from where we're buried, like a fossil record of a mafia turncoat just under the surface of the new era. We're not even buried, as cross-contaminated in the anaphylactic chocolate peanut butter pileup of being out of work from home, one fragile moratorium past observational stand-ups where time lost pacing from the counter to the desk to write this itself lost everything that kept the afternoon from becoming a border town with a name like Dry Cough, Montana, where on a clear night you can see the ragged lights along the escarpment that divides anosmia from shallow breath. Exactly. God bless us all, Andrew. That's what I do.
At least me.
Yes, especially Zoe.
Started with you.
Yes. It started with Zoe. Is the new name of this collection. They solved school, except for this poem. They solved school shootings by closing the schools. Can we very politely ask cops to work from home too, or as botanists, or not at all? Can't we let the ambition of microbes and Calvin glaciers Ebenezer the homicide from our impulse disorder of a history? The end is the only thing in sight, or was until we passed it. When I started writing this poem, I was afraid I'd lose my job, but I'm not afraid anymore, because I lost it. In a briefly mysterious touch base with my boss's boss, who let me go into the uneasy grace after the worst has happened, but before whatever that means. The qualm between storms that I'll soothe by rewatching 3 Days of the Condor or The Taking of Pelham 123 in the 1970s New York City nobody thought they'd make it out of either. I'm trying to be me at my best, or someone at their best, or at a diner too late for the early bird. I'm going to need another minute to order. I'm counting on my problems to take me as their +1 on the long journey that starts with getting steps in, whatever the outside goes by now. If we work together, we can make Rent into a little corsage of bubonic flowers that smell like quarantine spirit, or offer up a last few words like, see you later, ventilator, or to wear in lieu of contributions to the Plague Journal of Domestic Terror memes and crosswalk sports commentary. Here come the ritual ballads named for cities to break us of the hopelessness we've worked so hard to sink our pockets full of. Like that time you looked exhausted at your hand and the chocolate in it and said, you know what? I deserve it. We don't, any more than the chocolate deserves us. But the sirens are a relief from the space between them, the unbearable silent anthem of harvested fields that shiver in advance of an antibody dawn that never quite breaks. These are not normal times, say the people who ruin time and monasteries in ruin, broken and grateful for the semi-autobiographical vividness that terror lends an afternoon. Your edition of Paradise Lost may differ in its approach to the oligarch's dark arts, airbrushed on the wrong side of history, or the right side of a creepy van you find yourself having been tricked into driving yourself down fascist schemes, but more likely just ulterior neglect as a principle come to life within its victims. The enchanted novel filament's unchecked genesis in the retort of your lungs is no more a surprise than the devil may care only about himself response. There are 0 spells that don't contain their mirror, and every mirror contains its own spells that you have to be a pretty fucked up sorcerer to have even heard of. The mournful fright at the austere world's end is both real and also the disguise my half-dressed anxiety wears in the countdown to a new day one. They can go to hell. Really. Okay, we've got 4 more. Yeah. Let's hear it too. Things ending. I broke into song instead of the bank like we planned, as a means of coping with the new personal best late night distress, the unmusical hours where all the good thoughts appear to dissolve into the kind of distant outpost that's half broken-fingered Rochambeau, half-extended symbol for the rest of the year, a kind of scrubbing in to the background hum of the mermaid serenade from the faucet every time we wash our hands, and which gradually pulls the sailors within us under. A more subtle song than the overhead flyby as it breaks the sound barrier and the bank into pieces so small you could inhale them and still have breath left over to absorb the news of one friend who switches from giving the cat medicine to taking their own for when the cat bit them. News of them and how my high school music teacher, who seems so old, is now my age and swabbed the positive tonic to supertonic to compose new odds on resistance that's gone from outside to inside. The company that misery loves to have you look up the cheat codes for, the trolley problem or Theseus paradox, which you're living in the zest of long before you knew the sitch had a name, your name, always contingent on threading the mystery past bad cop outs on one side and desolation prizes on the other. You were the one who taught me that someday I'll be dead and nobody will know in the new phone of an era who this you was. But are you even still you with so many cells gone and replaced even since this sonnet began? And by the time anyone hears it, it'll be true of all your cells. Will you still be you then? Probably. Dumb question. But what if a scientist collected your damaged cast-offs and out of love or madness repaired and reassembled them all? Would that be you too? Maybe no such thing as things, except as bookmarks in an ongoing story. All evidence to the contrary evaporates in your hands, and your hands do too.
Yeah.
How did clapping start? That's so strange. Is it still a time capsule if the contents are just 100 years of sandwiches and yourself? Seems a good use of time when you wake up every morning to a documentary narrator's voice that says, "This day began like any other," before days became talismans of a larger ritual to be preserved by burning and made part of us through the smoke. Nothing else has worked, so why not this poem, among the same ceremonial rites as slamming the door and yelling, "Remember where we're parked," as the sinkhole gradually consumes your car. A lifetime ago, we didn't say a lifetime ago every day, even after national disasters like when Jenya and I hugged in Washington Square, which feels important to include in the capsule tonight, when we're more afraid, but can only wave through the shared liability of our hypomanic states. And also Matt Faye's insistence on making up for lost embraces long enough to pretend the airborne embers of his American spirit are the biggest danger. But even he cancels the after party. And this will be the last one, the grand finale.
Yeah!
Thanks again to Matt and to everybody who's both performing and just here clapping. And to KGB and the Red Room. Yes, Red Room. Into the rubble, friends. I don't believe in jinxing the so far so goodness. And so what with the collapse? We have each other to blame for having nothing but each other. And a laugh like a jittery harp strung with what used to be a resting heart rate. But here comes the phase of a morning where the sky's no longer night, but isn't anything else yet. Where the birds sing, "This is so weird," from their perch on the rubble that's also singing. A tune that's been buried for years, like anger or grief or a thumb's opposition to the tools it would be made to use, as though marking this moment in a sonnet is any better, if this even is a sonnet, beyond someone saying so, or beyond proof we made it this far, into the ambient growl of a warning not to fall through the ruins, or in love that everyone takes as their cue to do just that. Thanks.
Brendan Lorber. Beautiful stuff. Thank you, Brennan Orber. Amazing. Look for some of those sonnets in the next issue of Easy Paradise.
Oh, that's true.
It's going to hit newsstands.
A little self-plug.
That's right. It's a conspiracy we have going on here. But we're going to get deep into the open mic, so we're just going to get it rolling here. We have Lyrical Hill. Lyrical Hill, are you out there? All right, we're moving through the list already. What about Brendan Lemon?
I think that's me.
Brendan Lemon? That's you? Shit. You want to go again? All right, Ryan Rummel, I know you're here. Let's get Ryan Rummel up here, everybody.
Oh my God. All right. Okay. All right. How are you guys? Give it up for all the people you've seen perform, the feature. You did a quick Google search. Clapping started in 6 BC by a lawmaker, the Greeks. It's always the Greeks. It's always the Greeks. I am one of the aforementioned Libras. Where are my Libras at? All right, you. When's your birthday?
October 13th.
October 15th. Are you still hungover from this weekend? You guys ever drink so much you don't throw up that night, you throw up the next morning? And you're like, I don't remember eating all that blood. You ever lick deodorant off your bureau because you thought it was cocaine? It wasn't. Yeah, I'm hurting. I'm a little hungover. It's good to be here. I am from New Jersey. Is anybody else from New Jersey? Woo! Teppered a boo. All right. Someone hates New Jersey for some reason. All right. We are very hateable. There's two types of people from New Jersey. The people that won't tell you they're from New Jersey. So I see some suspects in the room already. And the people you don't have to ask. I think I'm one of those. You don't have to ask me. I've hit the pinnacle of being from New Jersey. Lived in Jersey my whole life. I've lived in Jersey City 14 years. I live on Jersey Ave above a Jersey Mike's. I'm at the top. I gotta get the fuck out of there. It is October, as we have already discussed. October is really like Ramadan for white people, don't you think? We celebrate Halloween all month. Just in a very different way than fasting. We pretty much drink the entire way through. Are you guys excited for Halloween? Will one of you invite me to your party? You guys want to hear a scary story in honor of Halloween? Yeah. All right. So I live on a 3rd floor walk up, and there's no access to my fire escape. You just can't get to it, right? So it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I hear someone on the fire escape, and I hear boom, boom, boom. So I jump out of bed, I turn off the lights, I grab a baseball bat. I keep hearing it, boom, boom, boom. I go to the bathroom window, I'm ready to protect myself. Boom. It sounds like he's dragging something. It's just like one at a time. Boom, boom, boom. And I kid you not, the cutest, fattest raccoon you have ever seen comes hopping up the fire escape. And when I tell you, I hit him so hard. That's a test joke. Obviously, I would never hit a cute raccoon with a baseball bat. It's a test joke. You guys failed miserably. I named the rat. I named the raccoon the rat. I named the rats too. I named all the animals in my house.
What's his name?
Yeah, what's his name?
Rocky. You guys are fun. I'm trying to figure you guys out. I can't figure you guys out yet. What else we got? Halloween. So on the way here, there was a bum. He was begging for money, right? And I was pretending to ignore him with the my headphones on, and he just wore me down, right? He just wore me down, and I was like, you know what? This will be good karma. I keep an emergency lucky $2 bill in my pocket, right? So I took it out, and I looked at him, and I winked at him as I put it into his cup. And winking it's just a win-win. You can't lose at it. Either they see you wink, and they're like, ooh, did you wink at me? Or you wink, and no one sees it, and no one's the wiser. He saw the wink, and he had the biggest smile I've ever seen. And the whole time I only saw him from his profile. And he turned at me and smiled, and he was missing an eye. I had just winked at a one-eyed man, and I can only assume he winked back at me. Have you ever been out-winked by a one-eyed man? It's very humbling. It's very humbling. Let's see. Traveled across the country this summer, and I compressed all my jokes into different categories, right? So I would go into clubs, and I wanted to find out if these jokes worked on the road, right? And so I had all different categories. I had like, you want to hear politics, you want to hear one-liners, you want to hear jokes about sex, drugs, whatever. And it worked every club I went into, except in St. Louis for some reason. And I pull out one deck of cards, and it was women at my right jokes. And a lady immediately stood up and was like, I'm not listening to you tell women at my right jokes. And I was like, women, am I right? I don't know what she was expecting these jokes to be, bitches be shopping. I don't know what she was expecting, right? You guys want to hear some women am I right jokes?
Yeah.
All right. You guys ever see that shirt that says whatever you can do, I can do bleeding at a rally? Have you seen it? No. We get it, you floss. If I could have any superpower, I would be like Spider-Man, but instead of shooting webs, I would just shoot weighted blankets at women that were mad at me. Have you ever seen those work in action? All right, that's my timeline.
Ryan Rubble, everybody. Thank you. Let's get Ariel Evans out here. Ariel Evans, everybody. Woo! Ariel Evans.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I had a weird weekend. I went to a house party. Yes. Wait till you hear the story. I went to a house party, saw a cute guy from across the way, so I asked my friend Sam to go talk to the cute guy and go wingman for me. So my friend Sam walks over to the cute guy, and I see them talking. The cute guy turns and points at me and smiles, and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. My future ex-husband, let's do it. My friend walks back towards me, doesn't say anything, and goes, we have to leave now. So we left the party, and as we're walking home, I was like, what happened? Apparently, my friend walked up to the cute guy, and his opening line was, do you like black chicks? And the cute guy points and looks at me and goes, oh, do you mean Ariel? I was the only black person there. And then my wingman goes, no, just in general. Do you like black chicks? You know, like Whoopi Goldberg. That was what I was most mad about. Like, what is this, 1987? That's the only black woman you can think of? So I'm in the market for new friends. That's what I'm saying. I need new friends. Yes. It was an interesting weekend. I don't know. I've been trying to date more, definitely trying to put myself out there a little more. This past week I went on a date with a guy. We were sitting, having dinner, everything was going fine. I get up to go to the restroom, and I come back, and he has a very weird smile on his face. Yeah, I was like, all right, this is it, this is how I get murdered right now. He has a weird smile on his face, and he goes, check your phone. I'm like, I don't think I want to. I really don't think I want to. I pull out my phone, look at it, and he sent me a dick pic. Oh. Yes. It was the person in the back clapping. That was actually my date. Yes, he sent me a dick pic mid-dinner. Wow. And I'm just like, sir, you're a father. What are you doing right now? Yes. His excuse was, he said it's for you to use later. Oh. What? Do you think I don't have the internet? Like, do you think I can't look at dicks whenever I want? I need your sepia-toned flaccid dick. Like, that's what I need? Oh my god. I stayed and continued dinner because I like food, but I was like, it got worse. It got worse. I don't know if it got worse or better or just equally bad. He was like talking. He was talking about how he grew up, and all of a sudden he referred to his father as Daddy. I was so caught off guard I had him repeat it. I was like, so you're close with your parents? And he's like, I'm kind of close with my mom, but I'm very close with my daddy. Like, what? You're 45 years old. The only person you should be calling daddy is the person you're fucking, right? I picture it now, we're in bed, and I'm like, oh yeah, daddy. And he's just like, no, that's my father. I'm junior daddy. You guys have been so great. Thank you so much.
Ariel Evans. Shows? Are you doing any shows coming up? Ariel Evans?
Yes. St. Mark's Theater on Friday.
To go! St. Mark's Theater. All right, can we get Tess Congo? Tess Congo, everybody. Let's have a good hand.
Hey! So I'll be reading 2 poems. And I'm very happy to be able to read Brendan Lorber, or hear Brendan Lorber, after 2 years of pandemonium, as everyone here I'm sure understands. Dear Thursday, I committed too quickly to saving myself. Open doors are getting worse. I'm trying to reintroduce men to my diet. Tuesday I'm scheduled for a man yelling at me on the train. I think if I leave by 6, Lior's kiss will make my lips swell, and that means I won't have to remember Sam, who told me to dress in daisies. To let others in, he said, you have to breathe the daisies out. But what if we're all just light hiding in potato sacks? I think about Adrian, kisses in the grass, dead ants in my hair. Michael said men are afraid of women, but I feel like a child. And today's yesterday, I felt the most alive in Belgium, a nightmare that sounds romantic. The moon violined my throat open, and I couldn't stop lifting my soul from under my tongue, knowing it's supposed to be the prince's kiss that dislodges this glass from my mouth. Not that I think about that often. The Romanian, probably the most. He wouldn't stop, desperately lonely. Half my life, I've been trying to play with time. Today I finally learned the trick. You don't stop at going back. You have to keep pressing buttons. Now turn the dial, slow it down. Now I see the hair on the arms of the men as they dislodge me from the car. It's a mystery no longer. The confusion, repeating, no longer. It's gravity that causes violence. When you're floating in space, the stars soften everything. Now I'm an angel. My body redefines the fall. Cement becomes a pillow when you fall slowly. It's velvet beneath my thighs as they drag me from the car. Now my neck is turning around again. My sister is being lifted into her father's arms again. Now she's screaming again. Now they're taking her away. At a family reunion, they'll identify the fingers in my hair, and everyone there will erase the night, their smiles. Thank you.
Phenomenal. Wonderful. Tess Congo. Do you have a book? Forthcoming. Check it out. Tess Congo. Phenomenal. Great stuff. All right, can we get Ben Shields? Is Ben Shields out there? I think Ben Shields. All right, crossed off the list. Oh, Ben Shields. Well, no, you're Ben C. Hyun, right? Okay, yeah. I I'm sorry. You have to be tough when you're the host of this. Is Kelsey here? Kelsey! Hell yeah! Amazing painter, great poet. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Oh my god. It's so good to see you all. I like hanging out. How are we feeling? We doing cool?
Yeah. Out of sight. Yeah.
I'm gonna read one poem. This is a poem for one of my personal heroes. Matt, it's not you, I'm sorry. I did also take a line out about that guy that's been telling the swastika joke. I don't know if he's here, but like, let's talk. Let's talk. Alright. This poem's not about you. It's called I Love You, Mariska Hargitay. Thank you, Mariska. I love you. Overseer of my worst depressive stupors. Psychopomp to the dark edges of my shame spirals. Man. Mariska, I love you, the pro-social team player, goddess of empathy, mindfulness, self-awareness, resilience. Mariska, I want to be more like you. Authentic, modest, truthful, conscientious. Mariska, I'm having an existential crisis about what it means to be an artist. Mariska, in times of scarcity, everyone must cooperate to survive, and when communities are plentiful, moral goodness is placed on the pursuit of a unique individual identity by which to contribute in perpetuity to the spirit of humanity. And in the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of the elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories. Bum bum. There's 3 acts. This is Act 1. I gotta catch my breath. I'm standing up here. Act 1, it's 2055. The oil painting robots have long since duped the Mona Lisa and stooped the best fine art forensics. No one knows for sure if the canvas behind the glass in the Louvre is the original 600-year-old work, or if it was swapped out for a perfect robo-replica after the last spate of tomato soup graffiti artists doused the wall in Campbell's. Only some people care. Mariska, I love you. Act 2. We're in the part of Miami that's still above water. Art Basel is premiering a wing dedicated to artwork by post-human artists. The entire floor of AI robot paintings sold out during previews. 2 days before opening to the public, a fiscal success for the post-human artists, except the collectors insist each piece incinerates and reincarnates as an icon NFT before the art can be viewed by the non-elite general admission guests. The post-human robot artists comply with the fiery demands, torch each canvas, and overnight create exact reprints of each piece of art because they can. Robots are masters of perfect motion replication and hyper-efficient industrialists. The day is saved. Artists for artists, art for all. Mariska, I love you. Act 3. Thank you. The AI voice robot narrator from the retro Andy Warhol documentary now has a semi-humanoid body designed according to the 7-decade-old original specs approved by Human Warhola in 1982. Robo Andy, fully capacitated, reopens the factory at a new location in the part of Fiji that's still above water. He's been churning out oversized screen prints of famous robot legends capturing visiting influencers and artists like Robo Kim Kardashian, Robo Banksy, Robo Joy Harjo. He's making millions, lining his pockets with crypto. Until a soul, tormented by emotional abuse, acutely aware that robots can gaslight too, shows up to disrupt the artist at work. She mangles his exoskeleton with 2 rounds from a .32 Beretta. Felony contraband ever since all guns were banned in 2045. Robo Valerie Solana escapes uptown and turns herself into Robo Olivia Benson, chief of the 5 boroughs Health, Safety, and Social Care Services, which replaced the now defunct NYPD. Robo Andy is repaired within hours by a fully automatic Amazon emergency response drone. He is to prepare for a new post-human artist being at the Guggenheim. With the help of Robo Olivia Benson, Robo Valerie Solana receives much needed mental health treatment for her AI and atones through community service. Bum, bum, dun, dun, dun. That's Dick Wolf, baby!
Big Wolf Productions, Kelsey Bruner, great painter. Follow her on Instagram, great artist. You're doing a reading coming up.
Yeah, follow my Substack. Kelsey
There you go.
Substack.com.
Hell yeah, Substack, Linktree, Patreon. Get it all. That's right, exactly. We're artistic entrepreneurs. That's the unfortunately the lot in life we've been thrust into. Every person for themselves. All right, Sin Grace Sylvie. Let's get Sin Grace Sylvie up here. Big round of applause, everybody. We're moving through the open mic. 2 drink minimum. Thank you all for coming out. It's your time to shine. We're gonna get to everybody. I promise. Thank you. Sin Grace Sylvie, take your time. It's fine. You can sign up for next week at Easy Paradise Mag on Instagram. So check it out. Follow me if you want. All right, Sin Grace Sylvie.
Got 2 poems tonight. This is my plug at the moment. I am currently trying to get my manuscript published. So if you can help me with that, that would be peaches. But in the meantime, I'm going to read these poems for you. The first one is called The Meeting. Most of the poems in my manuscript are about a relationship I was in. It was a very wild relationship. So if you like things about sex or love or magic, this will be the story for you. So The Meeting. I liked sitting at the bar waiting for you to arrive. Sipping a terrible martini with too much vermouth in those hours of minutes of moments. I liked wondering when you would get there, if you would look the way I imagined or not the way I had hoped, or for that matter, would I too for you. I liked the moment I felt a hand rest gently yet firmly on the back of my neck. How I knew to expect it, how I knew it would be an ideal greeting. I liked turning and seeing you for the first time as the rill of delight erupted from my cunt, shot straight up my spine till my face broke into a smile. Most of all, I liked what you did in those new moments. How your eyes met mine, how your hand touched my hair, just a moment owning it, then pulled away. I liked how you brought both hands to my face, closely surveying what you could see, but never touching me. In those miles of inches between us. It reminded me of the way a priest sanctifies a cup, the way a gypsy stares into a crystal ball, that moment before a terrible kiss, that second before a killer begins killing. The way a sculptor appraises clay, trying to scry what's hidden inside, how to make it behave to become what the mud is begging to become. I like the violence and the tenderness, the trepidation and the liberty I felt in those small, large acts. How I couldn't tell if you wanted to slap me or kiss me or fuck me or run, and I liked how I knew neither could you. I liked how my animal could see your animal, trapped in the cage of you. And I liked how it wanted to climb in too. I liked the look of you, strong or weak. How I hoped your drink wouldn't be so sweet. My second poem is called my father and his lovers. It's about horses. Sure. Guiding by the hand, he introduced us to the beasts within the stable, who adored him so much, so whatever he said would go. Into perked wet ears and black-brown eyes, noble and dangerous, kind yet able, functional but frightened, of their ability to crush us with the slightest misstep. God, how he loved to smack their tanned and tender hides by some magic of manipulation with slightest provocation. 4 thin legs could hit a stride in a desperate race to get somewhere, anywhere from there. I'll never understand how such terrified beings moved with such brute grace. He taught me to serve my carrots carefully, lest they bite. He taught me everything beautiful must be feared. My favorite animal, still beautiful and skittish. Thank you.
St. Grace Silly, everybody. Great stuff. We got some really good writers here tonight. Thank you all for coming out, sharing the beautiful work. Speaking of which, let's keep it rolling with Billy Cancel, everybody. Get excited. It's going to be good. It's going to blow your mind. Billy Cancel.
Woo! As outside raged a dick storm. As outside raged a dick storm was glued to Crapacadia radio. Crapacadia rough music, not this, but something like it. The boom sizzle crowd was still about their cheesy victory, rather than minimal geometric structure, where there was a babysitter and a man upstairs. With sap green curveball this hangers-on day, your face shall host lively eyes and a snout-like mouth. Lesson learnt to stay on the crow, not stalking horse, who got us back with the pixies, else would have gone Bismarck and served out a reducer, because we were cracked in all the right places and could make us spare with grandma's teeth. They tell me build your own burger, but I want total control. Now only when the ducks are walking have I got it going on. Grey wolves with night vision, grey wolves with night vision, please lead us. Let's pile up the agony, let's pile up the agony all the way to smash with my chameleon diet, and your keys to the street, a Skim City perch skeleton, that's me. Mock Sentinel versus consecrated downer. This quantum stuff is the Stilton. In this apple pie order, is there a place for us? How are you not totally bewitched? How are you not totally bewitched by surveillance at point non-plus? At point non-plus, your garret is empty. Dab. Dab, 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 dab. He said, smashing my face in. It's Ozark 30. It's Ozark 30. Even in Pissan Empire, your password to Superstition Mountain will expire in 3 days. No, your password to Superstition Mountain will expire in 2 days. Talked myself out talked myself out of this year's UFO conference. Smirking long-eared creature flying bear composite won't fight 1 yard. 1 yard of toasted cheese in area 51. In area 51%. In area 51%, I'm hardly caking. On mute. I've been through the elephant. Signal failure at Gremlin Junction. Keep faking the funk. This is Route 1. Keep faking the funk. This is Route 1. Round 2, Gorse Tangle on my couch. The little book of flaking out too early. 4 seasons in square one, reconciling fireworks on the drain, fireworks on the drain with a dead, done for look. Buttercup tantrum mutton encore. Buttercup tantrum mutton encore. Celestial navigation for weirdos. Yes, integrates limited palette and don't have much time, suitable to spare grat drop. If you see a spoon in the cup, don't make a joke. Bright watch, brilliant disregard, absolute lack of community attachment. And at this point, this is the point conventional gothic trots in like a 1,000 horse charge and it won't be worth a single radish. Copy flow, break and flick the Peter, it'll be all there. In Torquo's blue deep lilac, if you see sharks by day, play your radio at night, sharks by day. Play your radio at night. I'm nothing if not conventional. Dreamt of a grey pink cloth hill beneath the blue gauze sky and a single red spot where the nerve was damaged. If you would like an update of the status of your application at any time, please email ironhorse@alienlandscape.gov. ironhorse@alienlandscape.gov.
Now that's fucking poetry. Billy Cancel. Thank you for coming out. Let's keep it rolling. Last week, this performer wore a mop on their head. Let's see what happens this week. Hyacinth, where are you? I need Hyacinth!
All right, this time I don't have a mop, but hopefully you'll like it anyway. Any Jews in the house? Yes.
Half Jew.
Okay, so we got 2 Jew references in here. All right, we have golems. Do people know golems? All right. To those who don't know, they're these like clay creatures that rabbis supposedly brought to life. Thing number 2, Genesis. Adam was made of clay by God. That's all you need to know. So, the poem is called Breathe, Adama, my golem. Breathe, Adama, my golem, whose carefully carried mud from the sticks puddles on my bedroom floor. Here, I sculpt my very own lover. Ears, calves, glutes, eyes that see beyond like me. I kneel to kiss your newly formed feet, large and precise, and gently grip your drying thigh. I kiss it slowly, repeatedly, up to your dripping genitalia, still wet like morning dew. I linger here and kiss further. Pelvis, navel, nipple, neck, I breathe in the smell of your forest canopy, nibbling on your ear, gentle enough to not ruin the work. Your eyes, I kiss each one, your forehead, your nose, and here I pause, my lips almost upon yours, they waver like a bee upon its flower until they land upon you. I notice your chest rise, and now you're kissing me back. At last, your newly formed hands, brown and tender, grip my hips closer to yours. The sculpture between your hips finally comes to life as your reddening tongue makes its way into my mouth, then down exploring every part of my body, my neck, my nipple, my navel, my pelvis. You, whose life exists from my breath, now breathes between my legs. Thank you.
Hyacinth. Amazing art. Thank you. Great stuff. Richard Helfar. Let's have Richard Helfar get up here. Here's some of that dynamite literature.
We were not alone. We had envisioned heaven bursting forth, a sudden descending from the normal sky that shut out day, stupendous noise heard like volcanoes for 1,000 miles. What really happened was we woke one day and they were simply here. They had appeared soundlessly upon the farm, the beach, the open area within the park, and when they stepped out, human to the human eye, the world was startled when they simply spoke quite casually as if we'd met before. "Where are you from?" we asked. "A local star, about 10,000 light years from the sun, or 3 days' travel at their normal rate." And when they asked them how they moved so fast, they seemed to smile. "Oh no, we didn't move. Nothing can move faster than the speed of light. We generate our own reality to change the reality of where we are. It's simple, really. But they won't say how." That's all the TV covered for a week. Preachers proclaimed the miracle of life. Pundits spoke of oneness. Zealots claimed this proved their visions were divinely sent. We all assumed that everything would change. But nothing came of it, as nothing comes of anything, these days at least. We gave it meaning. It had none itself. They didn't come to help, they simply came and found some things that they could send back home. Quartz, fenugreek, Mississippi mud. Milk gets them high and sells extremely well. For us, they opened up their space resorts, pleasantly done and not too badly priced. While here on Earth we saw things stay the same, merely new neighbors in the neighborhood. It's obvious that this is now one world, so all the more important it be yours. To know that life will always find a way proved no great comfort as your cancer grew. As for the still pure snow upon the hills on the 4th planet of Centauri A, it isn't heaven, it's just outer space. Another pretty place to spend a week before returning to the battlefield.
Richard Helfar will be back next week with exciting shit. That's still on Centauri. All right, Natalie, can we get Natalie up here? Okay. All right, one of our favorites, great poet. Let's have a big round of applause for Natalie, everybody.
Hey. All right. If you've been here before, I read stripper poetry. If you're tired of hearing it, I'm sorry. There's so much there, you know? Okay. If I could make a poem out of anything, then the strip club certainly is one. Everyone is telling everyone else what they want to hear. "You're so funny," I tell the customer. "You must work so hard." In return, cash. When my boyfriend breaks up with me, I know there will be a line of men waiting. Cash and compliments in hand and ready. A customer says to me, "He must have really fucked up if you're single now." Like I said, everyone is telling everyone else what they want to hear. My hot pink garter sways unclipped against my body. In the dressing room before my shift, I look in the light bulb lined mirror and await the transformation. It has taken me all day to get ready. It has taken me years. This is a rendezvous, a bait and switch. Sometimes I feel like I've been training for this my whole life, I tell House Mom. The smile and nod. House Mom danced for years. Another girl asks House Mom why she still wears heels if she's not dancing anymore. Because I work with men, she says. You can take the girl out of the strip club, but you can't take the strip club out of the girl. She looks around the dressing room. And I'm still in the strip club, she says. People always ask me why, and I say, it is so obvious. Don't you see how people look at a woman? You are proof that God exists, the man tells me in VIP, and that he is a man. I take my shoes off during rooms. Dollar bills stick to my bare feet. They love the almosts. I know he wants the fantasy when he calls me Violet out loud. I know when he does not ask my real name. If they do ask to see me outside, I tell them, it is impossible, baby. I live in the club. Pick one. I think I read this one last time, but it's short, so. I wrote this about being like new. We call it baby stripper. The other dancers tell me we can tell you're new, girl. And if I had known everything I do now, I would have said, I can tell you're a dancer, girl. I can tell by the way you count your money, how you smack the stack, how you beat it against your thigh to stiffen it. I can tell because I placed the stack in your hand and you told me it was $2 short of being 100. I ask her, how do you do that? Because I am still new girl and do not know how not to ask questions yet. The face I put on looks bare against her precise beauty, the sharpness of her eyeliner and cheekbones. Because no one knows cash like a stripper. Yeah, I said stripper, not dancer. Because I like my singles. Some girls like their hundreds, but I like the looks people give me when I open my wallet, when I go to the bank. I like the volume of it under the rubber band, how it hugs the paper. Because when I go home, this is the only proof I have that the night happened.
Natalie, everybody. High-powered New York editors. I know you're out there. FSG, Random House, published a stripper book. It's awesome. It's amazing. I love that part about the money. Smacking it against your stack or whatever. I can relate. I understand. Eddie Stone, are you in the house, brother? Right here. Get up here! Eddie Stone, everybody.
So I've sprinkled in some new jokes. If you think they're not funny, you're probably right. Let's do this. So the reason I don't like to do Molly at a concert is it doesn't change my behavior. I don't act any differently. I still spend the whole concert staring at some girl's butt. It's just now I think it's okay because I love her. It's not an issue anymore. You know what really bothers me are can openers. I hate that they're called that, can opener. That's so pretentious. I am the can opener. You're just a tool. We don't call spoons ice cream eaters. My hands are not masturbators. I am the masturbator. It's me. So I smoke, and my friends want me to stop, and so they tell me each cigarette takes 11 minutes off my life, which is a bullshit line, because 11 minutes is just how long it takes to smoke one. Frozen 2 took an hour and a half off my life. None of them said jack shit. Some friends they are. I used to rock climb. I would rock climb a lot, but I stopped because I was training one day and I realized nothing I want to do is ever on top of a rock. All the activities I enjoy are roughly at sea level. You can't watch movies on a mountain. I don't know. It's not great. So I've been doing this thing recently where if I want to know something, I say I have a query. And I do it because that's both a very formal way of saying I have a question and a very affectionate way of saying I've captured a queer. I just let them decide which one I mean. I ride my bike a lot, and when I lock it up, I use a U-lock, which means every day I get to decide if I want to keep the tire or the frame. But only one. Thank God for the letter H in the word pheasants, right? It's an important letter. It's the only thing keeping those birds from becoming poor commoners. Peasants, if you would. There we go. Yeah. What else? So I'm in my 20s, but I'm still a kid at heart. And I know this because the other day the child lock was on and I couldn't get out of the car. I was watching a movie with my buddy, and before it started, he described this movie as a cult classic. But when I finished, I thought that was a terrible description, because it was nowhere near as exciting as a ritual suicide. Thought that would have been way better. Personally. Yeah. Oh man, I'm the dude with the swastika joke, and I feel like I have to do it now, because this was mentioned earlier.
Probably not.
I'm gonna go for it. So there's a new lady sitting next to me at work, and I noticed recently that she has a small Hindu statue on her desk with a number of swastikas on it. And I was surprised by this because I hadn't heard about the Fuhrer reaching enlightenment or anything like that, and so I had some questions. But she explained it to me. She explained that the swastika is actually an ancient Hindu symbol. Yeah, it turns out that long before Hitler used it, or the Nazis put it on their flag, thousands of years prior, the Hindus already hated the Jews. Thanks. I just got the light, and I'm usually a comic, but you do poetry here, and so I thought I would read a poem that's quick for my last minute, if that's cool. Yeah. It's called Counting, and it's not funny, so lower your expectations. You can watch a bucket fill with rain, the moon's reflection as it waxes or wanes. Reminisce on your pets and consider their sum. Ponder when you switch cigarettes for gum. Watch closely and see the changing of your hair. Notice the differences in what the people wear. Do you still prefer adventure, or are you yearning for rest? How long or how far is your golf swing from its best? TikTok is a good one, but a little on the nose. It helps to be creative as it comes and it goes. How you measure it really matters not. The only thing to know is that it doesn't stop. Thanks, I'm Eddie Seno.
Eddie Stone, everybody. Comedy, styling, comedy, poetry, music. It's all one thing here at Monday Open Mic. Let's have Susan Kirschbaum, great novelist, Who Town, available at McNally Jackson, great poet, New York legend. She was here last week, she's here again. Thank you all for coming out, sticking with us here at KHB Open Mic Mondays.
First of all, thank you, Matt Proctor. I came last week, if anybody was here. I did read from my novel, Who Town. This is Who Town. It is a fictional satire about 8 kids in New York before social media kind of ruined everybody's lives. We don't know that, but it has. In any case, I didn't realize that there was a strict time limit, and I really took advantage, and Matt is an angel. But thank you for having me again tonight. Everybody here is so talented and so much fun, and Brendan Lorber was amazing. Great poetry. Okay, I did memorize something tonight because last week I couldn't see, and this week I thought, okay, screw it. It's a small poem, or it's a short poem rather. It's called Clandestine Journal, and it's about star-crossed lovers in the modern age. Like, You can fill it in, like LA, New York, you know, maybe a musician, you never know. Okay. You know, Matt's laughing because he knows my life. I'm gonna do it, but I have my notes here in case I have a secret love. He secretly reads my mind. He crawled into my dream in a burgundy velvet cloak. I have a secret love. He secretly reads my mind. He found my lost t-shirt, Buddhist punk, the fake masks we wear for the world. I have a secret love. He secretly reads my mind. A plate of fries. We're lying on a bed. A plate of fries between us, dipping into mustard, labeled spicy and French. I have a secret love. He secretly reads my mind. He lays his head upon my bosom. I become mother for the night. I have a secret love. He secretly reads my mind. His hand finds mine as the sun comes up. His yellow work boot staining the lily white duvet. I have a secret love. He secretly reads my mind. He comes and goes like lightning, as if he never lit up my sky. I have a secret love. He secretly reads my mind. Each year the cheap thrills please him less. Each year he blames me more. I have a secret love who resents the role he has cast among cowboys and Disney princesses who ask him to play pirate. I have a secret love he can no longer hide. The shame he feels for being weak, not able to cradle my heart. I have a secret love who comes up from behind. He hands me the phone. Call room service, please. We need to begin again. That's it. Thank you.
Susan Kirschbaum, everybody. Thank you so much. It was amazing. Telepathy. I do think we're all communicating telepathically. Okay, Luke Herberman. He's been here, I think, one of our favorites, returning favorite, Luke Herberman, great musician.
Do you have a guitar?
Do people have a guitar, maybe?
I got you, bro. Hey. Thank you for
providing the instruments.
Also not
It's like more or less.
Okay, 7 a.m. day, and I was like, I want to go.
You want to use? Oh, there's no pickup, guys.
Hey, here we go. Oh, you're an angel. Hey, no, she is. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
You need to use the guitar too? Yeah, sorry about that. I tuned it by ear. Do your best.
Hi there, I'm Luke Herberman. I've come here a couple times, heard a lot of great poets, writers, and I want to thank KGB Bar for having us. So thank you, and buy beer too.
Yeah.
That's why we're here, right? One I haven't done yet, being here, so I hope you enjoy it. It's called Lit Ablaze. And before I start, actually, I have a show on November 9th at Pianos. So if you're interested in my music, I'll be playing with a full band there. My music is on Spotify. You can follow me at Luke Herbs. And I have stickers if you want one.
Yeah.
Blackbird who was hurt, the cause of all crime. As we know from crying, there is no justice when pain is free. I don't care for the fog if I can't even see. The shadow of my song calls you the green. If I wish to pass, I am not guilty, but you don't ask. When the water gets warm, I won't be holding back. Cold air crawls towards the fire. I am wanting to hold you. And while the hope is draining from my brain, no, I drink to love. Time to play. Thank you, I'm Luke Herbert. Showing November 9th at Pianos. Check it out.
Luke Herberman sounded great. That reverb sounded great.
You just set it on that on one of those stands.
Now we've got Ben Si-hyun. I'm sorry about that earlier. Ben Si-hyun.
There's no reverb on this one, right? Hey, how you guys doing? It's alright.
Yeah. Never better.
Never better? Hell yeah, man. I wish whatever. This is mostly like a poetry group, right? Poetry reading. Yeah. Thanks for letting degenerates like me do this in front of you. I appreciate it. Let's see. So I'm dealing with the fact that I'm starting to feel my age finally. Today I became a Walgreens Advantage Card member, and yeah, that's you're done being young when that happens. I feel like I made 13 people wait so I could sign up and save $3 in detergent. So rebellion's gone, man. It's done. I'm an adult. I'm living with roommates right now, and I'm 33 with roommates. A lot of cutting losses. It feels like. I mean, I like the guys. They're cool guys. But every night, I do have to say good night to like another 30-year-old man, and it's wearing on me. I gotta say. If you say sweet dreams to a bald man and you don't love him, you fucked up in life. I feel like. It's definitely getting pretty dark over at the 30-year-old dude apartment, I gotta say. I saw two of my roommates argue over who stole whose Rogaine. It's not roommate problems, man. You got and it's like so obvious too. One guy has like a new beautiful head of hair. It's like, I know, man, that dude, the guy with the ponytail, he's stealing the Rogaine. I lived with so many different people. I lived with a model one time, and when she moved in, I was very nervous. I wouldn't be able to be myself around her. But it turns out when you're like a beautiful model, and then you're me, there's like zero sexual tension at all. You know? She could have been a dude. It was fine. It was totally cool. We chilled. She was a cool person. I liked living with her. She was very progressive, and she would walk around the house topless, and she would be like, you know, this is my body. It's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with this. And I would be like, yes, I agree. You're right. But I'm like a progressive person too, but like not progressive enough to not get hard. You know what I mean? Like I would read Chomsky every night, and it never helps. I gotta say, my body was honest the whole time through. I was really happy it wasn't just like a regular attractive woman who moved in. I'd be very nervous around that, like someone who worked in marketing who was just like pretty, like, you know, like she would wake up, I'd already be in the kitchen like, hey, what's up, Ashley? I accidentally made a whole waffle bar for you. Remember you said you like waffles last night? Been up since 5, whatever. No big deal. It's that time of the year, folks, where strangers ask me on the street if I'm Jewish. Fall is pretty nice. Love fall. I'm not Jewish, so I just tell them no, but thanks for asking. I appreciate it. I look very Jewish. I understand that. I get it. I've had a lot of people come up to me to tell me like the good work the IDF is doing, like big smiles on their face. I was like, all right, man. Like, I'm glad you're keeping up. I'm half Filipino. That's what happened. I'm half Filipino, half white. Turned up looking like a Jewish guy who loves anime, so that's what happened to me. It's fine. Totally cool. When I was a kid, I thought I looked much more Filipino than I do. And I realized that because I would like invite friends over to my house, and they'd see my dad, and then they'd look at me and be like, hey, I don't want to scare you or anything, but there is an Asian man in here. Should he be here? Like, oh, him? He bought the house. He's a cool guy. You're going to love him. He is going to eat chicken in a way that's going to make you like incredibly uncomfortable, but besides from that, you're going to love my dad. You guys don't know how Filipinos eat chicken. It really feels that way from the Tess Islands. Filipinos, they're from an island, so they finish the bones of chicken. Anyone else? Caribbean? Anybody in here? The dude that is a bone. All right. Thank you. That's gonna be it for me, folks. Thanks so much.
Ben, Cian Han, thank you. The comedy. The laughs keep coming. It's Javier Ruiz here. Javier Ruiz, one of our favorites. Not in the house this week. What about Eric? I've got an Eric. No Eric. Okay, Peter Michaels Jr. Peter Michaels Jr. I was just talking about Mr. Peter Michaels Jr. Super excited.
Alright, is the piano free? Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Hello. I am the aforementioned Peter Michaels Jr. Hello. Not sure how well that'll be coming through. Is that coming through okay? Totally. It's as good as it's gonna get. Alright. In case you couldn't tell by me sitting at the piano, I am a ventriloquist. I am, but I'm also a musician. And I have a couple of tunes prepared for you. One of which is a funny one, and one of which I haven't decided yet, so we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. This first one is about everyone's favorite grocery store chain plaguing this great nation of ours. It's called the Walmart song. Aisle 6 is where I find my pretzel sticks. Aisle 3, I need some peanut butter dip. And as I turn around I see, there you are, with that peanut butter jar. There you are, as you push your shopping cart, I look away. Don't need no awkwardness today, but as I reach up on the shelf, I realize there's someone else. 'Cause there we are, locking eyes in the Walmart. Yes, there we are, seeing eye to eye behind our shopping carts. Don't be alarmed, I know you're feeling weird, and so do I. So let's look away and pretend this never happened. Woo! Sierra Mist is the last thing on my shopping list. Time to pay. I see the checkout line is long. I need to get on with my day. There I am, with my blissful unawareness. There I am, and I don't see you standing there. Yes, as I wait, I see my laces are untied, and as I reach to tie my shoe, and I look up and I see you, and there's nothing we can do. 'Cause there we are, locking eyes in the Walmart. Yes, there we are, seeing eye to eye behind our shopping carts. Don't be alarmed, I know you're feeling weird, and so do I. So let's kindly look away and get on with our day. I don't need the world to know that I've been slacking. So let's look away and pretend this never happened. I'm gonna pull out a cheat sheet for this next one because I didn't know I was doing it until just now. So, and I don't know my own songs because, of course I don't. But if you would like to know my songs more, I guess this is the time to plug. I am doing a show with my band Rubber Snuff at the Bitter End this coming Wednesday, so in 2 days, at 9 p.m. So if you guys are free on a weeknight and you want to hear some raunchiness with a 5-piece band, come to the Bitter End, and we'll do that for you.
Alright.
Anyway, I'm gonna close out with a song that's very ambiguous in the nature of it. I wrote it 2 months ago, so I'll let you make your judgments. It's called Nothing Is Free. Thank you. Life is comedy, nothing is sacred, nothing is free. River flowing fast, life is all in jest. So you should do your best. 'Cause life is comedy. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is free. Don't read the end to the barrel of your own gun. Don't tell your friends that they better turn and run. Don't let me tell you what to do, 'cause nothing that I say is true. Don't be led on by birds and bees. Don't listen, 'cause nothing is free. Morning in the night, the crowd dispersed and you're on your own. You're sealed within so tight. The ground is firm, it's now your home. Your life was all in jest, but did you do your best? 'Cause life is comedy, nothing is sacred, nothing is free. You can find me on Instagram at PMJ, I think. And if you really like me, maybe you'll see you Wednesday. Take care.
Peter Michaels Jr. Now that shit is awesome. When is that gonna win a Tony? I think next year. I'm calling it now. I'm predicting a Tony for the that amazing song work. Thank you so much for sharing it. We really have amazing songwriters come and do amazing things with this piano. We're so lucky. So thank you so much for doing that. Beautiful work. And now we got we're very excited for this next act, Lewis Mason. Let's have a big round for Lewis Mason making their Open Mic Monday debut.
Is it up at all, or?
Doctor, won't you help me out of bed and save me from the thoughts inside my head? Every night I try to get away. I'm tired of feeling all alone again. I'm tired of waiting for this day to end. How I wish my dreams would come to stay. Doctor, please, won't you come and take care of me? Doctor, please, won't you come and take care of me? On the corner in your leather shoes, walking up and down the avenues. No flies on you, no nothing at all. Under cover of the city lights and and under blankets of the winter nights. You are there for me whenever I call. Doctor, please won't you come and take care of me? Doctor, please won't you come and take care of me? I'll knock on your door when I need a little more. I'll knock on your door when I need a little more.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Lewis Mason, that was wonderful. Do you have a band camp or anything?
I'm recording stuff in a studio.
Okay.
But hey, just come talk to me.
Come talk to Lewis Mason. Sounded great. Beautiful. Kind of Velvet Underground. Wonderful. We're coming to the home stretch. We got about 10 people left. Let's get to Foma. Is Foma still here? I think they maybe left. They left. Okay. Patrick Golden. All right, Patrick Golden. It's your time to shine.